In my review for Lights Out Ghost Stories channel on the Angry Black Girl and Her Monster, I have briskly mentioned that since the 1930s with the golden era of Universal monsters, Mary Shelley's The Modern Prometheus and the Frankenstein's monster had been used time and again on the big screen. The reanimation of a dead person or from something inanimate had been used for many genres of films like comedies such as Weird Science and sci-fi thriller like RoboCop. But the untenable nature of the reanimated creature and the repercussion linked to doing something against the law of nature always became a moral exploration in horror movies that we as audiences will always reckon, but given the opportunity, might repeat the unforgivable act. Aside from movies that linked to the original piece of literature or direct reference to Frankenstein monster, some notable horror features that uses this motif would be 1989's Pet Sematary, the famous Stephen King's adaptation, 1985's The Reanimator, as well as Tim Burton's stop-motion animation feature Frankenweenie. In 2024, we have a romantic horror comedy from director Zelda Williams and writer Diablo Cody, known as Lisa Frankenstein, that succinctly crossed genres and hopped on the 1980s indulgence with synth pop and horror since Stranger Things first became a cultural zeitgeist. The story was very much of a Diablo Cody motif. A teenage girl exasperated by her mundane life and the infuriating people around her, and she would take extreme measures when something out of this world happened to her. Cody stated in an interview that this happened in the same universe as her last horror movie script, Jennifer's Body, and the pair of movies shared the theme of genocide of their male characters. The movie began with a fully animated prologue, which was my favorite segment, and it climaxed into the title with When in Rome's The Promise as the accompanying track. I think it peaked at that point. Our protagonist Lisa did not have the best life with her stepmother and stepsister, and socially awkward in school and had been harassed on multiple occasions. Her only solace was hanging in the creepy Victorian-era cemetery, especially the tombstone of a tragic pianist she had a penchant for. Then came the reanimation part of the story, and shenanigans ensued in the life of young Lisa. I kinda loathed the two main leads, and I could not empathize with Lisa's issue to start with, so her actions following her encounter with the creature was totally uncalled for. The side characters were all poorly written as well. The movie certainly reminded me like a fangirl version of what Tim Burton used to do. In fact, the movie that drew the most blatant parallel has to be 1990's Edward Scissorhands, as well as the 2013 Nicholas Hoult zombie feature Warm Bodies. Both I would prefer to watch again instead of Lisa Frankenstein. The parts of the movie that I enjoyed have to be when they use familiar songs from the 1980s in some interesting manner. There was that Lisa's performance of REO Speedwagon's Can't Fight This Feeling, and the inclusion of Jeffrey Osborne on The Wings of Love, which tickled me quite a bit. Of course, since the days of Napoleon Dynamite, using popular 80s songs in movie can be considered some sort of a cheap pop. Somehow these two instances still works for me. In the lead role of Lisa, we have Kathryn Newton. I last talked about her in my review of Abigail. Newton was a child actress who was in popular TV series like Supernatural and Big Little Lies. She was decent in this movie, but as mentioned, I did not find anything redeeming about Lisa, therefore did not care much of her fate at the end. Playing the creature is Cole Sprouse, who was some sort of a Nickelodeon teen star, and perhaps his acting is rigid enough to fit the character. The most recognizable face in the cast has to be Carla Gugino as Lisa's loathsome stepmother. Her involvements felt like an easy paycheck for the actress. Lastly, I had to highlight the director Zelda Williams. She is the daughter of the late Robin Williams. Gosh, I really do miss Robin. She had previously made a couple of smaller feature films prior to Lisa Frankenstein. There were some flourishes in her filmmaking on display, and I will check out what she will be doing in the future. I'm awarding Lisa Frankenstein a 6 upon 10. Perhaps there are targeted audience out there who will appreciate the movie better. As usual, please like and share this video if you appreciate my reviews, and subscribe to the channel if you can. My previous review was A Quiet Place Day 1, which I had slightly more enjoyment watching. After watching this movie, I feel like listening to The Promise on loop. Good day to all.